Hello, thank you for joining today's session of Forex Trading with Olamide Olayemi. Alright, so today is another session of Forex Trading. So I want to say thank you for joining and then hope you enjoy this session. Alright, so I have decided to add some lectures to the signal being given every night if we have anyone. So it's going to be Monday through Friday, and then I'll be talking on some areas that are important. As you all know, my name is Olamide Olayemi. Alright, so before we say anything about the signal, because I've checked all the currency pairs, and then I've come up with the conclusion that tonight we might not be having any signal because we weren't able to see a specific pattern that is forming against every other structure. All right, so but I will be saying some few things for a few minutes in respect to trends and then how to draw your trend lines. I found out that it's not just okay giving out signals alone, but it's also good to ensure that people understand how to do it themselves after a period of time, so you are not dependent on what is being thrown out. So if I give you a signal to trade on, I'm expecting you to go and cross check, and if you see that it's not okay, you are supposed not to trade. So rather than just taking it because I have said it, so that's why it's good for you to have the knowledge. All right, so in few minutes I'll be discussing some things about trends. Okay, all right, so on this my computer I have about 20 to 30 currency pairs that are open, and then each one is having its own unique trend, whether market structure, whether it is an upward trend or a downward trend. And then one of the good tools to use in technical analysis is the trend. So there are two trends that are available. We have the trend line and also the trend channel. But before I go further, I'll just want to say some few things about the disclaimer, which is this material is provided as a general marketing and training communication for information purposes only and does not constitute an independent investment research. All information provided is gathered from reputable sources, and any information containing an indication of past performance is not a guarantee of future performances. Viewers acknowledge that any investment in leveraged product is characterized by a certain degree of uncertainty, and that any investment of this nature involves a high risk for which the viewer are solely responsible and liable. We assume no liability for any loss arising from any such. The risk reward in trading forex may not be suitable for all investors as they carry a high degree of risk to your capital. All right, this is just for formality purposes. All right, so it's not for you to be afraid of anything. All right, so okay, let's look at some things concerning the trend, which they usually say the trend is your friend. Okay, I've opened a currency pair which is the NZD-CAD, New Zealand dollar against the Canadian dollar, and then I'm on a time frame of daily, so I'm on 24 hours time frame. Okay, so if you look at my chart, you are going to see different things showing, but if I zoom out, you're going to see another structure. So if you look at the chart, you're going to see a structure of an upward trend. How do you know that this trend is in an upward trend? If you check it from November 2019 till date, it's going to be showing you an upward trend. So what you just need to do is look at the starting point, which is this place, the starting point, and then look at this point. So the point at which the market is right now. If you look at it against it, you see that the the price at this place in 2019 is lower than the price it is at 2021, which is today. You can see, so there's a difference. The difference between the prices is 6,136 pips. It's just an average of that. So you can see that today's price is higher than 2019. So if you want to summarize it in a long yearly time frame, you say this is an upward trend. So but if I zoom in on it, it's going to give me another kind of information, so which you're going to see something like this. You see a trend that was going up and then it came down, and then right now it's also rising. How do you determine the trend and then the entry point of your trade is what I want to discuss using the trend lines and trend channel. I'm going to explain what a trend line is and also what a trend channel is using the chart so that you can understand it on your own. And then anytime you join and I give and I say, okay, this is an upward trend, or this channel, or this is an upward channel, so you understand what we mean by that. Okay, if you look at this right now, this line that was drawn, or we categorize this as let's say a trend line. This is a trend line. This red line that was drawn is just a what? Is a trend line. So now, but if you draw two lines, then it becomes a channel. What does it mean? This one is just a trend line. But if you now have 1 and 2 drawn, so the middle, what is happening in between these two lines is what we call the channel. It's called the trend channel, which is it's just like a tunnel, and then there's a flow of water. So what is the ripple effect of the flow of water? How fast is the water, or is it rushing, or is it just sliding little by little? And then is the tunnel up? Is there a force? Is it an upward force, or is it a downward force, or is it just a tunnel, a stagnant water tunnel? So the three of them are different. So if it's upward, then shows that it's coming from a lower level and then it's pushing up. But if it's a downward, like for this now, this is a downward tunnel, you can see that the price is coming from an higher high to what? A higher low price. So if you look at this, when it got to this place, it went a little bit up. It was still in the tunnel. It went up again, then there was a breakout. At this level, this is what we mean by breakout. This level is, so there was a breakout, and then instead of it to ascend back, it still decided to descend in price. And then but when it got to this level, it started ascending back. The bulls took charge, and then they were pushing the price back up, and then it entered the channel back. But once it entered the channel, most of the time it will continue to run through the channel back to the resistant level. So in trend lines and trend channels, you make use of the lines, the up line and then the down on lower line as your resistance and support level. So most of the time you use it as your resistance and support level. So what are you trying to do? You are trying to enter the market or make a decision of a buy trade when the market is at this level, when the price is at this level. So you are trying to take a buy trade as of this level, and then you are going to be attempting to take a sell trade when the price is at this level, at the upper trend line. So two trend lines, but I usually advise that if the tunnel is showing you, if the channel is showing you that this market is a downward market, the trend line is telling that this is a downward structure, what you should do is, most of the time you should only buy, you should only do a sell, do not buy. If you are selling, then the force of the bear is stronger than the force of the bull in the. So if you see or if you notice that the market is in a downward trend, just wait for when the price gets to this level. We call it at the overbought level. So at the overbought, then you can decide to what to sell. So once it hits this line, you can sell as of that time, and then with the hope that it keeps descending, and then you can have some profit before it shoots back up if there is a sudden change in the market, especially against the two countries. Don't forget that in forex, let's say the New Zealand dollar and the Canadian dollar, one of the major things that affect their price is their central bank, the discussions, the activities that is happening, the exchange rate, the interest rate, and what is happening in their central bank of both countries. So that's what determines the price movement most of the time. So that's one thing you should take note, apart from news and then sudden occurrence and disasters, and also big corporation news. So now you can see, so this is a time to sell. In within this place, this and then this place, I will only be looking for opportunity to sell because it's in a downward trend, and then with the opportunity to sell when the market hits this place. Okay, for instance, now if the market hits this and I've already drawn my line, maybe today was around this place, and then after some days it hit this, then I have this line. So this is a time to expect to sell. You understand? Using the trend line, you can decide, okay, I'm going to sell as of this time. You understand my point? So, and then you keep looking for opportunities to sell. So at the overbought level, these lines are going to be telling you that these are the overbought, and this line, the other line, going to be telling you that these are the oversold level. You understand? So that's a channel. One line drawn is called a trend line. You get my point? So some people work with just one line using the trend line. So they don't want, for instance, now I only follow the trend, which is in this time. I will not draw this line. I won't draw this again, so that I'm not tempted to want to buy. So I'll only be looking for opportunity to only sell. So I won't add this line. I won't add this line at all. So I only look for opportunities to only sell. So that's how you determine whether to buy or sell. Okay, so it's very easy. So this is another example. You can see at this level the market has changed its course. It broke the line, it broke the resistant line here, and then decided to form a new structure. So at this level you say it has changed its course, and then you can, once you notice that it has done the higher high for a couple of months, then you know that it has adjusted, and then it has changed its course. What do you need to do? You check this position against the previous position. If you look at this same level, when the trend was getting to this level, it auto changed its pattern and started ascending up. You can see. So this is also a confirmation. This place is also a confirmation that the market is likely going to change its course into an upward trend. So with this now, you will only be looking for opportunity to do what? To sell now. So you'll be looking for opportunities to buy, excuse me, because this is now a new upward trend. So how do you draw your trend line? You can draw it, just ensure that you look for two places that are even and they are touching. You can draw your line against two places. So I can decide to draw my line against just these two candle sticks, or I can decide to take one from here and this, but I'm going to try to draw it against an almost perfect candlestick. So I can take it from this and then draw it. I'm drawing it against this, the first and then the third, which is this. So you can see I'm trying for it to reach that place. You can see, so I'm using this. It's cutting this second blue candlestick. is this bull candlestick, and it's also touching this bull candle. So with these two, I will just ensure that I draw my candlestick up, and then it continues in that pattern. So you can see you have just drawn a tunnel just like that. It's very easy to draw tunnel. Why am I saying this? Sometimes some people just see me analyze the currency pair, and I say, okay, this is a buy trade for tonight, and that is all what they are concerned about. It's not always too good for you not to be able to know why we are doing that. So with this right now, this is a simple way of you drawing a trend line and also a trend channel. So with this right now, just keep watching the patterns. I mean the candlestick going within the tunnel, and once you see that it has hit one of the line, then you know that there's likely going to be a turning moment as of that time. If it doesn't turn immediately, it's just a matter of time. It will have to change its pattern, and then it will be the reversal. Then you can attempt to take your trade. You can also use some other what do we call it, some other technical analysis to checkmate when you enter the market. That is why I'm using the MFI. I'm going, let's say in the next, let's say tomorrow or so, I'm going to just say a few words about the MFI, what I'm using it against, why am I using it, so to determine when to sell. It's not the only one, but you are supposed to checkmate your decision, let's say with about two other technical analytical tool, just to ensure that you are more confident about your decision. So that's the aim. So you can't just say because you have gotten the trend line, then you expect like this. Now this is supposed to be a turning moment, and then you decide to say, "Oh, I'm going to enter the trade." So you also need to check some other things like what's the pattern. Are you able to see a pattern? Are you able to see a perfect pattern? If you are not able to see a perfect pattern, then because patterns are very, very important, and then I use patterns most of the time to decide when to enter the market, and if I can't see any reasonable pattern, I just ignore the trade for that day. Why some people say, oh, you are wasting days of not trading. It's much more better to or not to lose than to just trade, or because you just want to trade. So it's better to just stay away from the market rather than take to a high risk when you are not sure of what could happen. All right, so that is where we're going to stop today. So today, like for today, we are not trading, taking any trade today, due to the fact that I went through about 25 currency pairs, and then there was none that was giving us a perfect entry point. So it happens like that sometimes, especially Mondays. So you might not be able to get an entry position, and then it's not, as I've earlier said, it's not compulsory for you to force yourself into the trade. Just if you don't trade today, you wait for another day. Some days might come, you have about 4 trades to take. Sometimes you might even say about 5 or 6, and then you have to contemplate whether to take everything or just take 2 or 3 out of all what you have seen. So don't add emotion into your trade. And when you are not making profit initially, the most important thing is you have to be in a good state of mind, so that you can continue trading, and then you can recover. Once you recover, then you can start gaining more profit with time. All right, so that will be all for today. We expect to see a good signal tomorrow, and then we'll take the trade. Like last week, I guess almost from Monday to Thursday, we were able to see trades, but for today, which is Monday, we are not able to see any perfect entry point, so we won't be taking any signal tonight. All right, thank you for joining tonight. See you tomorrow, but before then, I would like to say one thing, which is kindly subscribe to our kindly subscribe to my channel, which is Olamide or Olayemi. So kindly, so you can get notification immediately the live session has started, and then you can trade within 30 minutes from that time. All right, so if you like this training, please click on the like button. So give me a thumbs up, and then subscribe, and also click on the bell so that you can get notified of the next trading session. So please don't forget to give a thumbs up if you like it, but ensure to subscribe as well. All right, that will be all for tonight. Thank you for joining. Have a lovely night rest, and see you tomorrow night, same time, 10 p.m. And then we might be able to get some signals to trade with. Good night.